What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Scene Invaders podcast channel. I'm Chad.
I'm Carly.
And this is Chad and Carly's Creepy Corner. So recently, Carly and I have been discussing, I feel like maybe my love for it might be a little bit more, but we both like found footage horror movies. This is actually one of my favorite subgenres of horror. I think when it's well done, it can be incredibly effective, and I think oftentimes scarier than a more traditional horror film. We decided to compile a list, 3 each of, we're not calling these the best found footage horror films of all time, just some of our favorites. This is actually something I've been really excited about, and it made me revisit and think about a lot of things that I haven't seen for a while and need to see again or got to watch again. And I kind of decided to approach this from things that I feel like are wildly underappreciated, things that I want to put on people's radars that maybe they have never heard of or heard of a long time ago and forgot about. And yeah, that's kind of how I'm approaching this. So we made slides, guys. It's serious. It's serious business up in here. And we're going to pull up Carly's slides first. Like I said, we each have 3, so we're just going to kind of volley back and forth on these and discuss these movies. The iconic.
Yes.
Carly's favorite found footage horror movies. And no honorable mentions for you, right?
Nope.
Okay. So we're going right into number 3.
Which is As Above, So Below. And that came out in 2014. And both the critics and audience seem to have really hated this movie.
I don't get that at all.
I don't understand it either. Maybe they were just like sick of found footage at that time. Maybe I don't know, because I think that's actually kind of the reason why I never watched it to begin with, is because I'm not a huge fan of found footage. I like a good found footage movie, but I think I might have been about found footage out at the time.
Yeah, and this was the time where that was definitely happening. Yeah. Found footage fatigue, man.
Yeah. So, but I just recently watched this past week, and I really don't understand the hate for it, because it's definitely not warranted. This one, it takes place in the Paris catacombs, so it already has like a cool location, especially if you're afraid of confined spaces like I am. I'm very claustrophobic.
I don't like it.
You would not catch me down there like for nothing.
No, absolutely. No, thank you. Absolutely not. Never.
I can be pretty brave, but not in that way.
Yeah, same.
But I did think it was really cool, though. Apparently, they did film in the Paris catacombs as well for part of the movie. Okay. So that was really neat. But the main character is a girl named Scarlett, and her father, she's an archaeologist. Her father was also as well. He went crazy looking for this thing called the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
And now she's searching for it. So it's kind of like an Indiana Jones National Treasure type found footage movie where they essentially go to hell. That's kind of the big, it's not even a twist, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's loosely based off of Dante's Inferno, which I found really cool. And I didn't mind the characters. I thought they were all pretty fine. The acting was good. It wasn't like your stereotypical found footage acting. Everybody seemed to do a good job. I think the only person that I really recognized was the guy that played George.
Okay.
I don't even know his name, but anyways, it was pretty funny because my 9-year-old son watched it with us as well, and at the end he was just really happy that that one of the characters survived, because they weren't even, as in his own words, he wasn't even supposed to go down there. He wasn't even supposed to be there. I'm glad he lived. I'm like, me too.
That's a good way to think about it, for real.
Right. No, but yeah.
Yeah, I really like this one too. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, this, like you said, this definitely came out around the time, I think, where probably there was a ton of fatigue around this subgenre. Because like all of my choices are like right from like this same time period. So I was like, man, they're all so close together. Like, God. Aww. So yeah, there was a lot of it back in the day. But this is something I've actually been meaning to rewatch because it has been a long time. I've only seen it one time, but it was, I think, right around the time that it did come out. And I'm with you. I didn't understand the hate on this one. I thought it was effective and well done, and an interesting and different kind of take on a lot of this stuff. And yeah, very fun. Good choice for real. All right. So we're going to go to my number 3, guys. Black and red. Here it goes. So my number 3 choice is something that I have never like heard. And, okay, so I know if you watch the podcast, guys, I just recommended Nurse 3D to everyone. They all hated it, and no one's ever heard of it. And everybody's like, "Yeah, we know why, bitch." So this might
We love
be a my taste thing that I'm like recommending things that everybody hates. But this movie I've just never heard talked about because I found it so insanely effective. This is available on Tubi, and this is Home Movie from 2008, directed by Christopher Denham. This movie's like an hour and 15 minutes long, so it's certainly not much of a commitment. And this is just a story told through basically like home movies of this family and their descent to hell, basically, after they start to realize that something is very wrong with their children. And I remember the first time that I saw this. This is a bit of a slow burn, but I think a lot of found footage horror is actually. So this definitely fits that. But where it ends up is so fucking insane that the first time I saw it, like my mouth dropped up and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that they went there. And of course, I don't want to spoil this because, again, I don't feel like anybody's ever seen this. But if you do like found footage and like especially told in like the family home movie type of way, this is extremely effective and very, very good. Insane little fucking kids. That's for sure. Oh my God. And you said you have not seen this one, right?
I have not, but I'll have to check it out. It looks pretty cool.
Cue up the Tubi for real and get that one going because, yeah, it's worth your time. And especially at an hour and 15 minutes, it's certainly not much of a commitment. So, yeah, definitely worth it. But if you hate found footage, this isn't going to change your mind, guys. So I have one on here that could, but this is not that one. All right. So we got Carly back. We're going to move on to Carly's number 2.
All right. So that is Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. And that came out in 2006. Now, people may try to argue that this doesn't count as a found footage, and there are kind of aspects to it which are, it's not technically found footage,
it's
but
kind of like faux documentary.
Yes, and to be fair, I looked it up on IMDb. It does say found footage as part of the genre listing, so I'm like, okay, whatever. It says it.
Yeah, that's what absolutely fit.
Yeah. So, but I love this one. I've loved it since 2006. I discovered it when it first came out. Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy, they're all real in this universe that this found footage takes place in. I love, you're basically following around this guy named Leslie Vernon, who is going to be like the next Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, etc. And he's being followed around by a film crew, a woman, and two cameramen. And they're kind of going over everything that he has to do to get ready to kind of become, one of the all-time killers.
Yeah.
And just,
one of the big guns.
Yeah, it is just, there's so much humor in it. I really liked it because it really does balance the humor with the horror. Obviously, it's more of like a mockumentary, so I feel like there's probably more humor in it than there would be horror. But you're going over the importance of cardio with him and like how you have to be in shape because like everybody thinks that you're just naturally can teleport or like you're moving slowly, but you're really like just trying to like stay like keep your breath or whatever. And they go and visit one of his retired serial killer friends, Eugene, and that's played by the actor that you may recognize him. He's Scott Wilson from The Walking Dead. He plays Herschel. Sure. And there's actually a lot of other little cameos and actors that you would recognize. There's Zelda Rubinstein or Steen. She's the little old lady from Poltergeist.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Here I am. That girl.
Okay, right.
Of course, you have Robert Englund, who played Freddy. He is the film's Ahab, which is kind of a nod to Moby Dick. Yeah. And Leslie Vernon just describes his character, the Ahab, as a reflection of everything good that's going to try and stop him, stop evil. Then, of course, you also have Kane Hodder, who played, what's his name? Who
Jason
played, Jason Voorhees. And also, I think he also played Hatchet, didn't he? Or no, he was in Hatchet. Or Was he Hatchet? I can't remember.
I know he's
Anyways,
done he's been a number of villains for sure.
right. So it's got a lot of people in it that you may recognize. Again, loved the blend of the humor and the horror, so it just really worked for me.
Yeah, this movie's super fun. I have not seen it for a while, and this is another good example of balancing like humor and horror. And yeah, this one it's one that I did actually consider for myself as well. It just had been such a long time since I'd seen it, and I didn't have a chance to rewatch it, so I did not choose it. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of underappreciated in a way. It kind of has like a little bit of like a cult following. I just feel like as far as like mainstream, it's just kind of slept on and not enough people know about it. So watch this movie, guys. Watch
Yes.
Behind the Mask.
I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, so yeah, it's a good one though.
Real. All right. Next up for me. So my next choice. I saw this years ago, and then like maybe 6-8 months ago, something like that. It was a Sunday. I was off work. And I was like, I'm just going to throw this on while I lay here and do other things on the sofa. Well, that didn't happen because I just ended up sitting up on the sofa, completely glued to this movie again. And that is The Conspiracy from 2012, directed by Christopher McBride. This, I think, is incredibly gripping from start to finish. I love a good conspiracy theory. I love hearing about that kind of stuff. I love the like shadowy goings on of like elites and power and all that kind of stuff. I just enjoy hearing about it. It doesn't mean I necessarily believe all of that shit, but I always think it's fun to hear about. And this movie follows a couple of guys who get interest and like kind of like almost like a street preacher type of guy. Like he's out there trying to like yell about their conspiracies and shadowy elite figures controlling the world and all that kind of stuff. So these guys he's very Alex Jonesy. We'll call it that. So these guys decide to try and infiltrate a meeting of a group called the Tarsus Club. And they're meant to be very much kind of like, think like Bilderberg or like Bohemian Grove, like that kind of thing. If you know what those words mean, you know what I'm talking about. And they basically end up a little in over their head by trying to infiltrate this group. And like I said, I think this movie is just absolutely gripping. It's so fun to hear the conspiracy stuff. And if you follow that kind of stuff in any way in real life, a lot of this is just really going to hit with you. And I've just heard so much of this stuff over the years. That's why I think it just really hit with me. And it is just fascinating to watch these guys get in over their head with a group of very powerful people. And it is a bit of a bleak movie though, guys. It's still a fun watch, but it definitely doesn't end on like a great note or anything like that. But I think this is highly recommended. I feel like this is maybe streaming on Tubi as well. I'm not positive about that. But I feel like you should be able to find this somewhere. I know it was on Netflix at one point, could still be. But yeah, definitely worth your time. I highly recommend this for you and Trey, Carly. I think you very much like it.
And so when did that come out?
This is from 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right around that same time as Above So Below and all of that stuff. So yeah, this is worth your time for sure. I think you'll just literally put it on and find yourself gripped by it. And I found it riveting. It's not a perfect movie, but it's just so incredibly entertaining and involving that it's just hard to take your eyes off of it. And I was there for the ride all the way through the end. And there weren't really any major missteps for me. There are weird little things that all movies like this have. A couple of questionable acting moments and stuff like that. But for the most part, this kind of, it just hits, and they do it really, really well. And I'm just shocked that I never hear anybody ever talk about this. I don't know why it's so under the radar, because I think this is one of the very good examples of the genre for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody has. Guys, watch it for real.
Yes, check it out.
Yeah. All right. And Miss Carly, she has a number one, guys. It's about to get serious up in here.
Dead serious with Deadstream.
Yes, I love this.
Yeah, so this came out in 2022. This is not your stereotypical found footage. It's not a slow burn at all.
No.
I love how fast paced it is. The main character is a social media influencer / streamer. He has a show called The Wrath of Shawn, where he faces his worst fears, which include, but are not limited to, running from the cops, being smuggled across the border, and the trash compactor challenge. So,
Okay. Right.
like,
God.
of course, the baby Moses challenge as well. Oh my
I
God.
mean, of course.
So he basically he has to live stream one night alone in a haunted house with only one rule, and that is if he hears or sees anything weird, he has to check it out. He,
Good
of
rule.
course, you're right. He puts together his own mood music for the stream. He calls it Sean Carpenter's Halloween, which I loved. And
Yes.
of course, it sounds like John Carpenter music or that the '80s kind of synth score. But I love that he's like literally playing it like out loud for the stream.
Yes.
Whenever he uses it. So of course the banter back and forth between him and the live chat is just gold. I love it because
Yes.
if you watch any type of live chats or live streams, you know that these type of people that are commenting and you're
Oh
like, oh, that's
God.
great. I love it. It's so funny. He sets up his base of operations in a room that he dubs the safe room because it's just strictly due to having no prior reports of paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm.
It's got heavy Evil Dead vibes, and of course,
Very.
yeah, and the humor will either land for you or you'll hate it. But because I've heard people say that wasn't funny at all. It's like, fuck, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I did too,
Like
for
it
sure.
completely works for me. I loved it.
Yeah, this
And
balances like earlier too with the rise of Leslie Vernon, like the humor and the horror. I think very
yes,
well
there
because
are
you really get
very
both.
there are very, very effective jump scares in this. I was very surprised. And I think maybe the reason why they probably work so well is because it's in conjunction of you laughing at something or thinking
Yeah,
something's so funny. And then you're like, like, then you get the jump scare.
for
It's
sure.
even better. So I just love this movie. It's not, I mean, there's nothing special about it other than it just really hit for me.
Mhm.
And yeah, it just
It was
works.
yeah, it was fun and fresh, and with it being newer and stuff like that, there's so much that came before it. But I just feel like this did do something fun and fresh. It is a very fun movie to watch. This would be
Yes.
great with like a group of people and like friends and stuff like that. Have a couple drinks and throw this on. Just great times all around. Excellent,
Mhm.
excellent choice. And I think I don't know if it still is, but I think this was a Shudder movie when it came out.
Yes. It's a
So
Shudder original.
should be on Shudder, guys. All right. So my final choice is another movie I absolutely do not understand why not everybody in the world has talked about this movie, or I've never seen it hardly ever acknowledged anywhere. It's presented by Eli Roth. Do not let that turn you off if you're not a fan of Eli Roth. And it is directed by Ty West, The Sacrament from 2013. So yeah, don't let Eli Roth turn you off if you don't like him. Don't let Ty West turn you off if you don't like him. This is found footage. It's kind of presented in a faux documentary format where a group of guys who work for Vice News go out to if you're familiar with the Jonestown massacre, that's very much what this is. They're going out to a commune because one of the guys from Vice, there's his sister, that's where she's been out at this commune. They're going to see her, see what's going on there. And there is a very Jim Jones they're not shy about any of this either. This is about Jonestown, basically, with just different names. So there's a Jim Jones style character who is like the leader of this commune, and it's basically just cult stuff, seeing that unravel, seeing how this idyllic on the surface place is not that at all. And I think this movie is absolutely gripping. It is genuinely so intense. And I think this is something that the like faux documentary found footage thing really added to this in a major way. And why I said if you don't like Ty West, give this a chance, because it is different than his other work. He always is paying a loving homage to some sort of a genre or style of horror film, and he is doing that here with like the faux documentary or found footage. But it is so incredibly well done. It's not perfect, of course, nothing is. It's got a couple of things that don't always exactly work, but overall this thing just works so good. And even if you know this story going in, it's going to go everywhere you expect it to, but the way that it gets there, just watching it unfold, and with the intensity that it unfolds and the genuine like fear, like not that like stick with you after the credits have rolled kind of fear, but that like in the moment intensity, tension, it just builds and builds and builds in this. And it's just criminally underrated and discussed in my opinion. So anytime I find someone who likes found footage, this is one of the first things I bring up. Have you seen The Sacrament? And that's almost always been a no for me. So yeah, The Sacrament, guys, absolutely watch this. I have no idea where it's streaming, but probably somewhere. So and yeah, this is another one you and Trey absolutely watch this. Are you familiar with Jonestown?
Oh yes, yeah. I actually
Okay.
watched a documentary not that long ago about it. It was pretty tragic, but
Yes,
and I'm really surprised I actually hadn't really heard of this prior to you talking about it, because I like Ty West, but
yeah, I do too.
Slipped under the radar for me.
For sure. And this was after House of the Devil and the Innkeepers.
Mhm.
So I think this might have been the movie right after Innkeepers from him.
Okay.
And I think it made next to like no money at all upon release. And it doesn't seem like it's really found an audience post release or whatever.
Maybe
so I hope
now.
hopefully one day it will, man. Like I really think it deserves it. And even if you're not a fan of like found footage or faux documentary, I think this could still win you over, just because it is so extremely well done. It's not the same like trappings that you normally get in this kind of stuff. It is a little bit of a slow burn, but it just feels very realistic, I think, and very real. And like you're actually watching all of this unfold because it's acted really well, it's directed well, and all of that. So yeah, man, this. What was I about to say? The Sacrament. I was about to say The Sanctuary. Holy shit! Good lord.
Sanctuary is a good movie, though. That's not found footage, but
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, so that was our choice, guys. Like I said, we're not saying these are the best found footage films of all time, but just some of our favorites and some things that hopefully get put back on your radar or on your radar. So any recommendations from you guys, especially for me? I love found footage. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. So literally any recommendations you have. If I haven't seen it, I am definitely going to check it out. So yeah, please, in the comments below, leave that. And come back next week for the podcast. We'll have a new episode of the podcast where we are going to be recasting the classic Clue. So that should be very interesting. I said that to Chris, and he was like, "Oh my god, why?" I said, "Because we do what we want."
fun.
Yeah, on Scene Invaders.
So Jacob Tremblay will be on there.
Okay, right. I feel like if he doesn't end up as something, that there's going to be a revolt. At least from me, there's going to be a revolt because he is a staple of the show now, guys. Yeah, yes. Jacob Tremblay. He and the Scene Invaders, we go way back, guys. But anyway, thank you so much for coming, for watching. If this is your first time, welcome. And we'll be back with podcast next week and another Chad and Carly's Creepy Corner coming very soon.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.